As you were saying, with for Justin Holbrook, who began his Saints tenure here in Newcastle 12 months ago. Well, the Widnes Vikings line up with Reece Hanbury at fullback. They make 3 changes from the 17, unlucky to go out of that cup at Leeds last week. Patrick Arvan is on the wing in place of Ryan Ince. Then it's Charlie Runciman partnering Jimmy Kinehorse in the centre. He was ineligible against his parent club last week, and Stefan Marsh completes the back line. Good news for the Vikings. Joe Mellor, the skipper, is back after 4 out. He partners Aaron Heremiah in the halves. There's no Lloyd White. That is a huge blow for the Widnes Vikings long term. He will be ruled out for 12 weeks minimum with a pectoral injury. So Jordan Johnston is the hooker. The front row completed by Jay Chapelhouse, who's a late replacement alongside Greg Burke. And the second row is Matt Whitley alongside Sam Wilde, with Hep Cahill at loose forward. On the bench for Dennis Betts, it's Tom Olberson, McGrath Luluai, 18-year-old Crossfields amateur, Danny Walker and Wellington Albert. St Helens make 1 change to that cup side that won so impressively at Castleford last week. It's an enforced change due to the suspension of Kyle Amor. Ben Barber, the mercurial Ben Barber, the box office Ben Barber, is at full-back, and the three-quarter line, Tommy Makinson, Ryan Morgan, Mark Percival and Regan Grace. Half-backs, Johnny Lomax alongside Danny Richardson. Luke Douglas comes in for the suspended Amor, following that dangerous contact with Oliver Holmes. James Roby is the captain, and Luke Thompson continues his impressive form in the front row. In the second row, it's Zeb Taylor alongside Dominic Peru, with John Wilkin, the loose forward. On the bench for Justin Holbrook, Matty Lees comes in as Douglas is promoted to the starting 13, alongside Theo Farge, Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook and Morgan Knowles. And there is Dennis Betts in that Widnes dressing room. So much history, of course, with the Wigan club. The 93 man of steel, former Wigan coach, of course, so he will need no motivation against the Saints. And Justin Holbrook just preparing the St Helens players, the former junior Kangaroos coach, of course. They've swept almost all before them in 2018. And have a real chance as the Warrington contingent make themselves known in this huge arena. All the clubs represented. There are the Saints fans. Phil, it's a huge ask for the Widnes Vikings against the red-hot St Helens. How do you see this one going?
Well, it is, but also if you turn it around, I think it's a difficult scenario for the St Helens side. They're expected to win, and win convincingly, and that, I think, puts you under pressure. They're on a big stage here, and they're expected to deliver, but they've not failed so far this season. They've been very impressive, and you would expect them to continue. I think, though, there's certainly nothing wrong with Widnes' spirit. They were down heavily last week. People said they were unlucky to lose in the cup match against Leeds. It was 23 points to 4 at one stage, and you'd imagine for a side with Widnes decimated by injuries and low on confidence, that maybe the game could have rolled away from them. Quite the opposite. They fight to the very end. They've got an ability to play with an ignorance of the scoreboard, and that has made them competitive in most players. But at the end of the day, you need some quality, and whether they've got the quality to match what are in these shirts, that's the test for them. But an exciting start to the Super League smorgasbord this weekend.
And of course, they meet struggling Widnes on a weekend where 4 of the 5 teams immediately below them face each other. Wigan up against Warrington next up, of course, and Castleford Leeds later today, and Hull face the derby with their rivals Hull Kingston Rovers. So a big chance for St Helens to maybe open up some daylight at the top.
Yes, I think they'll be desperate, won't they, to lift the League Leaders' Shield. They've started the season so convincingly. They want to kick on in the second half. This is the seminal point in the season, though, the Magic Weekend. Everybody gets to come and show just what they've got to offer in front of all of the competitors over one weekend. And I think from here on, we are about 21 weeks till the grand final in Manchester. I think then the path to it starts to become a little more clear.
Widnes beaten 34-12 by Wakefield here 12 months ago. They've got a tough test on a weekend when Catalan also have a real chance of 2 huge points against Salford tomorrow. And Huddersfield Giants seek a repeat of last week's cup win over Wakefield. So real opportunities at both ends of the table as Joe Mellor leads the Widnes Vikings into battle. John, it's a crucial weekend at both sides of the table, this one.
Yeah, it is, and the man just in your picture, Joe Mellor, he's going to have to play a really important part in the fortunes of his Widnes side. He's an extremely talented player, and this entire Widnes side, they've got heart, they've got desire. I think they're extremely well coached, and they've had their own injury problems, but it's not a side that capitulates, this Widnes Vikings side of 2018. It's a side with some backbone. They've not had results go their way, and I think they need to look no further than that Challenge Cup exit, although it was an exit, Ben. You know, a hard-fought game in which they went down by just 3 points, and it's been the story of their season, really, hasn't it, for the Widnes Vikings. I think the coaching team, they've worked with the materials that they've had. They've had long-term absentees, and Patrick Arvan would be a good example of that. I think what they've struggled with really is their attacking prowess. They've not conceded too many points, but they've really struggled to put attacking string together. Unlike this side, they are the trailblazers in Super League, the St Helens team. It's significant that we end up on a shot of Tommy Makinson there, who I think has been the standout winger in Super League this season. He's the man who gets the sets going for St Helens, and he is certainly going to be a target in the first couple of plays for Widnes following their kicks downfield. It's a year to the day, Ben, since Justin Holbrook took over as St Helens coach. He started that one with a 45-0 victory over Hull. What price for his thoughts at this moment? He'd be really looking forward to it.
Referee for this one, Liam Moore, and the video referee will be Ben Thaler. Video ref, of course, will be used from here on in the Magic Weekend.
Just need weight, guys. Stand on, Steph.
Mark Percival, 24 next week.
Just wait.
And Ryan Morgan finding his best form for St Helens.
Okay, Steph.
Real emotion from Widnes fans and St Helens fans around this stadium.
And the worst possible start. He's kicked the ball directly over the dead ball line. The pitch perhaps slightly shorter than a full 100-metre pitch. It might be the reason why he's hit it so hard. And it's now the worst start because St Helens will get a penalty. You see here, Saints just trying to judge, just goes over the dead ball line. It's a tough call by Danny Richardson, a brave one, but one that's pulled off, and they're immediately going to be attacking.
Well, he would have certainly got a tip off there from Luke Douglas, who was the prop sitting on the dead ball line. That's what good communication can do for you.
It didn't clear it by far, did it?
No, it's a great call, and it's brought his side 50 metres to start the game.
Worst possible start then for the Widnes Vikings, already up against it against the red-hot men in the red V. This is Richardson, now Teya, already inside that 20-metre zone. St Helens inside the first minute of the match, courtesy of the mistake from Stefan Marsh.
Move back! Back up, Matt. Go, 3.
Richardson played the ball, and Roby. Here is Barber.
4.
Put to ground. It's Thompson who started that set. Barber plays the ball. Here is Richardson. Roby's pass. And now Percival needs to make some space. Gets the ball back inside, but only Joe Mellor, who's in the right place at the right time.
Well, a great early indication of the game we're going to see here. Lots of ball movement. St Helens are the only side in Super League who make more than 250 passes a match. On average, they throw the ball, they force the passes. They manage to make sure that the ball does its work, and maybe that's one of the reasons why they're draining the energy of their opponents, really stretching the defence, but on that occasion, Widnes coped.
Cahill played the ball. This is Jay Chapelhow. Chapelhow called in late to the 17. Alex Gerrard unable to take part due to a quad problem. Barber under the kick. Almost gets away as well, so elusive. Can't Ironhorse with a good tackle.
Go one.
Well, that's excellent work, isn't it? To immediate close down Barber as he receives the kick. Assignment 1 done, but maybe there'll be 10 more of these in the match. Whether they can get that close to him on the other kicks, that's the test. Makinson now charging forward, but good early defence by the Vikings.
3. Move it.
And the vigilance you need all the time against that man, Ben Barber.
4. Move Jordan. Play ball. Go 4.
Thompson plays the ball for Roby. Richardson. And a spill from Luke Douglas. Just acknowledges the error there.
And it's the result, I think. You give this to, yes, Douglas has taken his eyes off the ball, but it's an unexpected position that St Helens find themselves in at the end of the set, and that's down to, as you were saying, Phil, right at the start, great weighted kick and chase, stop Barber in his tracks, do the work on Makinson, have a crack at Luke Thompson, third carry, and that St Helens side then all of a sudden holds no fears from you because they're 70 metres away from your try line. Really positive start from the Vikings.
Well, look now what they've done. They've loaded every player on this side of the field. Makinson's defending thinner on the far side. Whether they can create, whether there's enough space from scrum situations, not as much as they used to be. But yeah, they're going wide with it. Can they find the overlap?
Going to the right-hand side with Hanbury. Shrugs off the attempt from Percival. Comes back in field. Short pass. That's Jeremiah.
1. Move Luke. Hold.
Cahill.
Go 1. 2.
Burke now.
Move. Hold James. Hold. Go 2.
Johnston. Mellor
Still 2.
keeps hold of it, gets it to Burke. That was Hanbury.
One of my favourite players in Super League, Matt Whitley there. He just continues, he's reliable, he's consistent, gets better with every game, and he's got a penalty here now. We're wrestling him around on the floor.
They never had a hold of that tackle, did they? That was just down to the great footwork before Whitley got into contact. Richardson was always holding on for dear life. And they're going to have an extended look at this St Helens line now. First real examination of St Helens at the field, at the end of the field, we're not used to, or not accustomed to seeing.
Chapelhow gets his side to within 8 metres of that St Helens line. A real test coming up. Johnston's pass. Are they over?
Yes, they are. Is it Whitley?
Whitley goes in for the Widnes Vikings. Matt Whitley inside 5 minutes. And it's Widnes who take the lead. There's not many people have expected this. One of your favourites, you said, Phil, when he crossed for a double in last week's cup defeat to Leeds. It was only the second 2-try display of his career, and he continues that sensational form here in Newcastle.
Well, he does the simple things very well. OK, he's been awarded a penalty for his team there. They couldn't wrestle him down, but he ran bravely into this hole. And Jordan Johnston, who again continues to perform at a level above expectations for many, manages to invite him into the hole with a nice soft pass. He took the pass well and grounded it cleanly. Got in between the two defenders. He came hard and strong. I mean, some people sometimes confuse rugby league as a very easy game to play because it is so simple. Running harder than your opponents counts for a lot, but it isn't that easy to run with that level of determination. He does it regularly.
But they've got the blueprint now for the rest of the game. They've come out of the blocks, they've started well. That is exactly what the game plan they talked about. Complete early in the sets, put Barber right underneath the ball, have a good kick chase, work hard on Makinson and Grace, and an awful lot of that sting he's taken out of that St Helens exit sets that they do so well this season. And then on the other side, well, just go and play rugby. It'll be a very, very clear instruction from Dennis Betts. Great start by the Vikings.
Stafford Marsh trying to improve the try from Whitley. 6 points to 0, the Vikings ahead.
Well, we see again, I think we've got to give more credit to Jordan Johnston really there. He delivered the pass at the right time. Just jumped out from behind the player the ball, 3 or 4 steps. It's almost like timing the delivery like a high jumper, just inviting him onto it, put him into the hole, and he hit the mark.
Marsh with his first goal of the season to improve that as Mellor takes the restart, and Burke now drive back into the St Helens side again, taken by Taylor. Cahill now.
2. Move. Hold Luke. Hold. Go 2.
Johnston. Urgency from him.
3.
Sam
Move.
Wilde.
Hold on. Hold. Go 3.
Jeremiah. And Chapelhow.
4. Move James. Hold. Go 4.
Stopped there by Thompson, Greg Burke.
Move, Luke. Hold
I
it.
think we'll see again an indication of the kicking strategy. Early in the match, it's the second time they put the ball high. Oh, it's challenged.
Under huge pressure there from Roby. Chapel continues.
Well, the Vikings fans are disappointed, but I think there was no doubt. There's a Widnes hand. Is it Matt Whitley again? Puts himself in and around most of the action. I think his hand knocks it forward here after the bounce. You see him coming forward. He gets involved just before Makinson, and there's the contact from Matt Whitley prevents Jay Chapelhow for a glory run. Great call by the official.
Surrender! Stand one!
So Helens then in possession. This is Makinson.
Move! Back to me! Hold! Go to.
Carrying the ball early in the set, and Thompson. Met by Chapelhow.
Move! Hold, Greg.
Sam Wilde in there as well.
Go free.
Taya
Back.
looks for Roby, and then it's towed forward. It's a foot race, but
Surrender!
easily won by Regan Grace in the end.
Go on.
I think Widnes will be happy, won't they? They're unsettling their opponents here. They've got them doing things that they don't normally do. Actions that aren't familiar to the success they've had so far this season.
Hold.
Really put the St Helens side under pressure in this opening 8.5 minutes.
Free. Move!
The majority of which has been played in this St Helens half.
Good run by Dominic Peru.
Superb run from Dominic Peru there.
Danny Richardson's going to go all the way.
Inside. Richardson is not going to be stopped, and they go from one side of the field to the other. Danny Richardson in a blink of an eye, and Saints can level up with the kick to come. They show exactly why they're the most dangerous side in the league. Under pressure at one end, and then Danny Richardson comes up with his third try of the season at the other.
Great work from Danny Richardson, supporting up the middle. But this lies with the break from Peru. It's a change of angle, but it's his ability to ride a tackle. Then he's got his eyes up. He commits Reece Hanbury at fullback, and Richardson, he was stalking on the inside. Great support player. Been spoken in the same terms as Sean Long and Bobby Goulding earlier on this afternoon, and he's living up to that billing. And a great individual talent, but it's that ability to sniff out where the ball's going to be, where the space is, and how you can work with your fellow player, in this case Dominic Peru. St Helens, well, it looks to me, with this kick to come, Ben, that they're going to level up the scores.
And what a way to make your Magic debut. He missed the win over Hull 12 months ago, Danny Richardson. The Super League's leading goal kicker and point scorer. About to be 6 to the good in Newcastle. 10 minutes gone, 6 apiece.
Well, at this stage in the season, there are only 9 players in Super League who've played every minute of every match, and Danny Richardson is one of those. The more time you see him spend on the field, I think the more chance that St Helens have got of success this season. His support play is fantastic, and you know what? You need speed, don't you, if you want to win this? You don't have to be the best team, but if you've got speed like that, it can get you out of problems, and it's certainly lifted them from I would say, a poor opening 10 minutes, gets them back level.
Restart collected by Barber.
Surrender!
How will Widnes respond?
Hold.
They bossed that opening 10 minutes, and now they find themselves level on the scoreboard.
Two.
As Thompson
Hold, Sam.
takes the ball in.
Go to.
Makinson met by
Move,
Wilde.
Sam. Hold. Go free.
Wilkin gets the ball away for Douglas. Whitley in there for Widnes.
Move, Matt. Hold. Go.
Lomax. Percival stepping back inside, still going. Really good run from the centre.
Move. Hold, Aaron.
Well, he's probably the hardest player to tackle, not just for St Helens, but in the entire league, isn't he? He's so elusive as a runner. High kick, Patrick Arvan's got that.
Surrender. Stand. Goal one. Two.
Patrick Arvan
Move, Luke.
as well.
Hold. Go to.
Widnes deep in their own half, though, as Arvan again takes it
Move,
forward.
Sam. Hold. Hold.
former junior Kiwi.
Goal 3.
Johnston.
4.
And a dart on his own, met by Thompson.
Cale now in the side, gets them up over the halfway line. I always think Widnes look better when he's out there in action for them.
Goal 5.
Johnston, Mellor. And for the sideline, Barber happy to let that go. A good set for Widnes.
Yeah, and they'll be happy with that. A steadying set after conceding points and being put under pressure at their end of the field. That'll be a welcome 30 or 40 seconds respite for this pack. Said before we started this game, Joe Mellor will be the one that everybody looks to in this Widnes Vikings outfit. And he's not afraid to lead from the front. Kicking off the front foot, that's the sign of a good set, and a set of players who are working with each other to gain some momentum. And this is the best place on the field that you want, that you can have your opposition in St Helens. They can't do you much damage from here. If you go through the basics, you work really hard on your first couple of plays, then they're going to get some rewards with Widnes.
First task is a tough one, trying to stop Mark Percival. Bounces through 2 or 3. Look, are there 5 men involved in that tackle to pull him down? 4 it is.
Percival plays the ball.
2.
Saw just a moment ago that Dominic Peyroux, though, even from deep, John, that the likes of Peyroux and Richardson in support, they can cut you open in a moment.
Great tackle there. That's a full-on collision, wasn't it? Luke Thompson ran like a train, but Chapel was the first one to hit him. Roby now starting to look dangerous, putting the short passes together.
Quick play the ball from Wilkin, and Roby on the back of that. Here is Richardson, and Richardson to the right-hand side. That's Ryan Morgan.
Goal 5.
Last one, and Richardson. They're seeing something on that short side. Peyroux back inside for Richardson. Here is Barber. Drifts a kick in. They're chasing this. It could go anywhere. Could still come up with it. Percival touches down.
Sam off.
And it is going to be the first intervention from Bentel, the video referee. No try on the field.
I wonder on what grounds he's got no try.
I think he thinks there's a knock-on. The challenge in the air. Certainly everybody's on side here when the ball is kicked through from Barber. But as we get a challenge here, is it Zeb Taylor who goes forward? He misses it. Do we get a knock-on from that point? I think there's a knock-on there. Mark Percival. And I think that's the reason he's come up with a no try. This should give us the evidence we need one way or the other. Certainly Widnes player gets it first. Well, he doesn't.
No, there's no knock-on there from Percival.
There, is there? No, certainly from that view.
Is he tackled in the air?
Well, I think he's challenging for the ball, isn't he? So does he have possession of it? You'd have to say he's making a legitimate play for the ball. Is that where he just knocks it forward from there?
No, he doesn't. He's not touching the ball there, Stuart. So he's either he's got to give a penalty to Widnes for a challenge in the air, because it's arguable that this is under control, or a try to St Helens.
Oh, he's well away from the ball, isn't he? So yes, I think he's not actually in possession of that ball when he's tackled from behind. So the no try, I think, will stand, and we should get a penalty to Widnes for the challenge. The
challenge in the air. I have a feeling this might go the other way, Stuart. I have a feeling that he might see that as a legitimate challenge, and Percival could well be extending St Helens' lead. It's always interesting debating these with you.
Well, there's certainly no knock-on, is there?
They've shown the touchdown. Here is the decision. And it's the St Helens fans who are celebrating. Mark Percival given the 4-pointer. His 14th Super League try of the season. The former Halton amateur, that will taste sweet for him. Birthday boy next week, and an early present for the 23-year-old for now, Mark Percival.
Well, he worked hard to make it impossible to score that try, but I think when we see it later, the quality of the kick from Ben Barber, I won't forget the ball had been moved around, it came back to him, but he found space, didn't he? He made it bounce, and that obviously, you just can't let this rugby league ball bounce, because you never know where it's going to head. Here is Danny Richardson.
That's the extras once more, 2 from 2 for him. 12 points to 6 now. St Helens have turned this round.
And it's on the second phase. Richardson skips inside Jeremiah's tackle, and the ball comes back out to Ben Barber. This is the kick that we're talking about here, Phil. And it's that's the criminal act by Widnes in conceding. That's why they're culpable in the commission of that try, because the kick has split 3 different Widnes defenders.
Isn't that the quality of the kick, though? I mean, none of the 3 players could probably get to the ball.
And just to come in on the law on that, the ball has actually bounced, so the tackle in the air doesn't actually can't come into play. You know, in my view, he's tackled without the ball, so slightly different. Video referees had a different view of it, but you know, the tackle in the air.
Why is the tackle in the air any less dangerous if it's after a bounce?
Because it's got to be taken on. It's probably no less dangerous because of the bounce, but the law states that it's a kick taken on the full.
Good run from Taya.
Move! 4 boys. Hold! Go 3.
Lomax for the try scorer, Percival.
4. Move! Hold, Greg. Hold!
Cahill makes the tackle.
5.
John Wilkin just mixing up, sometimes passes, sometimes take them on. Got to the end of the set, another high kick from Richardson.
Richardson goes to the air, and look at the problems in the eyes of Reece Hanbury there.
Okay, so that is a challenge in the air, and needs to be a distinction made then, having heard from Ben Thaler, the video referee, that Kainos's foot had regained contact with the floor, so not a challenge for in the air. The last one, that one certainly was, Stuart.
And that's right, yeah. And you know, whether you agree with the law or not, that's what they have to apply for at the moment. I mean, there's a slight contact before he hits the ground. You could say one's less than the other, but the law states it's got to be a kick taken on the full.
Whitley played the ball. Here is Burke.
2.
Thompson in there.
Hold.
Douglas in there as well.
Go 2.
That was Cahill, and good, really good short pass.
Sam Wild's going to score.
And Wild is going to go in the corner.
Time off.
Well, did he ground it? That's the question that the referee's going to ask. He's unsure.
We have no try.
It's great build-up play, wasn't it? Excellent build-up play.
Ball line, please.
But has Ben Barber pulled off a brilliant try-saving tackle?
But it's just whether Whitley gets to the line here. Does he actually touch any part of the line with the ball? He's got to do it on the first time through, because I think his foot ends up on the touch and goal line. And certainly from that evidence, it doesn't look like the ball got to the try line. And then you can see, well, if that went on, you would see that his foot touched the touching goal line, which gives it a 20-metre restart.
Yeah, they're just seeing whether there's any grounding of the ball here at all. But I think that's grounded, but that's short, isn't it? Yeah.
And then he's never ever anywhere near to get the ball down.
Well, what a great piece of defence there from Ben Barber. We're used to seeing the other side of his game, the magnificent, mercurial side of his game. As you say, Ben, we're seeing what he's capable of as a defensive fullback there.
That's right, John. Plenty talked about his offensive abilities. Superb in defence, denies the try.
20 restart. 20 restart.
And Dennis Betts will be cursing his luck there. I thought the build-up play was excellent, and Wild put into a hole. Great cover tackle. And it's how he uses his body weight as well to rotate after he manages to keep the ball away from the try line area. Great work in defence from Ben Barber. He's more associated with scoring tries or providing try assists in 2018. Well, that's at least 4 points saved for his side.
Thompson with a good carry for the Saints, and Lomax almost away. Important tackle from Wild, showing his own defensive capabilities there. And Thompson spinning into the tackle of Burke. Chapelhow in there as well. Wilkins pass this time for Douglas.
Hold. Go for.
It was Roby and Wilkin. Lomax.
5. Move.
Last chance coming up for St Helens. Just 10 metres away, so dangerous, and Barber stabs a kick in. It's spilled as well, and it's pinched and put down by Regan Grace. What's the referee going to do here? He's going to award the try. Regan Grace in the right place at the right time. And St Helens extend their advantage. Ben Barber crucial in defence at the other, at one end, and then within 60 seconds, Regan Gray strikes.
Well, there's 10 points difference on the scoreboard, but you'd say there's very little difference between these two sides, other than the fact that one have just got a little more class. To convert the chances into points, it's a fantastic tackle by Ben Barber to deny Wild at one end. And then you go to the other end of the field in the same corner. It's a delicate kick in, put again by Ben Barber, and the bounce the ball goes in the favour of the Saints and bounces in front of Regan Grace. He's another player been on the field for every minute of every game, and he's enjoying this one very much so.
I would question, as we wait for the kick to be attempted by Danny Richardson, I'd question the position of the Widnes fullback there in Reece Hanbury, nowhere in the shot. If you've got a fifth tackle player and a ball player sitting on the short side and a real attacking threat like Ben Barber is, why is Hep Cahill the man who's cleaning up on that short side? You'd be looking at that and you'd be saying, there's a danger and a threat on that short side. I need to be staying around the ruck, making myself available to get down and put my head where it hurts to stop that.
Danny Richardson's most difficult kick so far. No obstacle though, flags go up again. St Helens out to an 18 points to 6 lead now. Tries in 5 consecutive games in League and Cup.
Let's have a look at
Regan
Matt
Grace.
Percival's involvement. I think there's a probable knock-on there from the left hand. Saw one great shot of it there on the replay. They've had some terrible bad luck at the moment, Widnes, in this opening quarter.
Time off.
Terrible luck.
Behind him, boys. Okay.
That's at least a 10-point swing, Ben. You look from the try-saving effort from the man who's about to take the ball to the bit of good fortune we've just seen, as it's turned out to be at least, at the other end of the field. You know, 18 points to 6, it's a different complexion on this game now. Widnes have played extremely well. I think they've played some composed stuff. They've actually threatened St Helens in attack and gone through on a couple of occasions. They've dealt with this man particularly well. But through all that, they still find themselves 12 points adrift.
Testament to the quality of this St Helens side. That's why they lead the competition. Wilkin.
Move, 5. Stand up. Go, 5.
Important tackle downstairs from McGrath Luluai. Richardson goes to the air again. Be dealt with by Arvan, and Richardson kicks on again. Kindhorst clings onto it.
Well, instead of knock-on, I think, against Widnes, it was a 0 tackle. That's why the Saints took a chance and kicked on again. Head and feet at the scrum will go to the Saints, and they can't get anything to go for them. Patrick Arvan gets up off the floor. Was the knock-on from Arvan?
Was the other way, I think. Certainly hit Arvan's head, didn't it?
Okay, boys.
The first one, that was the interesting decision. Here it is again.
Head in.
Dominic Peru jumps off the floor. It's off Peru's right hand into the head of Arvan.
Well, that should be a scrum to Widnes. Again, more bad luck.
And can they hold out? Percival. It's looking ominous again for St Helens. Barber's pass for Lomax. This is Wilkin.
Surrender! Stand! Knock on.
Well, a relief. They haven't conceded any more points. They're 12 behind and they're certainly in the fight, but St Helens, you don't see this very often. Is it the play of the ball that he's given us a knock on?
It's just a scruffy play of the ball, isn't it, really?
And he's classed this as a knock on.
That's what he certainly called it. He puts the ball on the ground, rolls it, plays it with his foot.
It's kind of evened itself up, hasn't it? Because the 2 bad decisions have essentially ended up with the right outcome, and that is that Widnes get a chance to clear their lines. What really impresses me, just looking in the background to that, as all the focus was on John Wilkin and the play the ball, just how quickly St Helens map off and get into position for the next play. They are excellent at it. Really wide positions taken up by the likes of Lou McCarthy, Scarsbrook, Dominic Peru, you know, and able then to hit back on inside shoulders on that Widnes defensive line.
Kindhorst played that ball for the Vikings. Stefford Marsh now.
2, moved on. Hold.
Plenty more mouth-watering rugby league ahead on the Super League Magic Weekend today. Wigan Warrington 5 o'clock Sky Sports Arena. Can't wait for that one.
Goal 3.
And a repeat of the grand final after that, 7:15. Don't miss this one. Castleford against Leeds to close day 1 of the 2018 Magic Weekend. Sky Sports Arena again.
Nice shot pass there from Cahill to McGrath. Look, they've done well there in 5 plays. They've made 50 metres. There's no problem in making the ground. The kick's probably not as dangerous.
Mellor was under real pressure.
Handover.
That's going to be the turnover.
Joe Mellor's down on the floor. Has he pulled his hamstring? No. Back up.
Wait, back. On me.
Oh, they need Joe Mellor. Tom Gilmore on the sidelines as well, of course.
Sam.
Lloyd White's a big miss, isn't he? I know Jordan Johnson's doing really well as the hooker out there today, but we'd love to have had Lloyd White. We'll miss him.
Move. Hold. Go on.
St Helens hooker. Roby gets the ball away for Thompson.
It's a great run by Thompson. Really got the side going. Roby off the back of it. That's a great challenge to rescue the set. That's stolen some momentum back in that set. Great shot by Wellington Albert.
Here is Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook.
Move. Back, Tom. Go. 4.
Did manage to stall that Saints momentum a little.
5. Move, Joe.
No ill effects for Mellor as he makes that tackle on Teyer. And Richardson. Crossfield. Dangerous. Collected by Morgan. He's got Herremeyer with him and smuggles the ball out. And Arvan does well to collect, tidy the situation up and stay in the right area of the field as well.
Well, good play, didn't they? They reacted, they recovered well, were Widnes. They're under pressure.
3.
Fast game, pretty quick play of the balls, although perhaps quicker for the Saints side. Patrick Arvan now goes forward. They're not having a problem making the ground. Having that class though in the final third to score is probably the challenge for the next hour.
Whitley now, over halfway for the Vikings, gets a good offload away as well, and Johnston. Wild collect at the second attempt. They've lost some momentum themselves now, Widnes.
They get a penalty. That's a big help. Contact with the head from John Wilkin according to the referee. Sam Wilde stayed down for a while. But what's really, I think, you see, no doubt there's a penalty. The fact that when Sam Wilde went through and the ease with which St Helens were opened up with that defensive, you know, the play that Mellor gave to Wilde to bring through. They know they can do it. They've done it once, not scored from it. Can they do it again now in this next set?
They've got an opportunity, haven't they? There's going to be some adjustments made in that attack. When Dennis Betts gets a chance to talk to his charges, it's very difficult to do on the run. But again, doubled up their errors of St Helens. That's twice, and it's footwork that's undoing them. Jimmy Kinehorst is the recipient of a high shot from Zeb Teyer. The first one committed by Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. And the referee's taking the timeout now to address what he looks like some first evidence of repeat offending by St Helens. It's the footwork that undoes him. He hangs out a lazy arm to Zeb Teyer. And Widnes are going to get another look at this St Helens line. A St Helens defensive line, as you say, Phil, that hasn't been all that convincing.
We've had 2 high tackle penalties, not just from you, but we need to clean it up. Okay, they're non-negotiables, we need to clean it up. Okay, mate. Where's your mark, Jordan?
Transgression from Zeb Teyer puts Widnes in a really good position.
Oh, great
what
ball!
an offload that is! Herremeyer on the back of it. So close.
Hold. Play your ball, play your ball.
Wellington Albert did remarkably well to get his arms free. Now they're going to go wide.
Johnston, they needed the quick play of the ball. Mellor trying to give the ball some air, and Runciman has to come back inside. St Helens scramble back well here.
Line. Hold. Go 2.
Johnston, short ball for Luluai.
Move. Line there.
8 metres away now, the Vikings.
Go 3.
Johnston fainted to go one way, gives it to Wellington Albert, sticks an arm out, and Wellington Albert gets a crucial try for the Widnes Vikings. He returned from a 2-match suspension with a try against St Helens last month, and he's got another one against the Saints at St James's Park.
Well, you talk about substitutes and what you want from them in a 17-man modern game of rugby league, and that's an impact. He made his first contribution in defence to rescue a set that was threatening to run away with St Helens. Then a great offload to Aaron Jeremiah, which started the set on a positive note. And he set up for this play and gave his hooker absolutely no other decision than you must hit me. Hit me on the line, I've got the strength, and I'm going to have the impact that my coach wants from me. That's a really, really significant try, and he's happy about it too.
Well, James Roby is a world-class hooker, but the guy playing hooker for the Widnes side's not doing too bad. If you think of the 2 tries that the Vikings have scored, the little deception, he pretended there he is, Jordan Johnson, listening in, pretended he was going to pass the ball one way, changed direction, and delivered a lovely pass there for Albert to crash onto. Well done, Jordan Johnson.
Back on.
Stefan Marsh, 2 more points for the Vikings within a converted try now again. Wellington Albert with the score.
Well, a really positive play. Look, he just passes it short, and the question is, every team in rugby league gets close to opponent's line. The winners are the ones who can get over it more often, and there they found a player with that knack.
He made the point about Lloyd White, Phil, and his long-term absence, but it's a real opportunity for Jordan Johnston, showing what he can do on an arena like this. As you say, already responsible for 2 of the Vikings' tries.
Yeah, I think he's an exceptional player. Been outstanding for him, hasn't he? You have to say when you watch, I mean, I don't know, it's hard from the commentary box. Another offload there from Albert. I don't know if there's any players try harder than Jordan Johnson in the match.
Great offload from Olberson as well to find Marsh. Roby trying to slow that play the ball down as much as he can legally. Jeremiah.
Great play.
Olberson again, his second involvement in this sequence. Widnes with their tails up here. And now Johnston. What did he do this time? It's not the best pass on the bounce to Whitley, though. Last chance coming up for the Vikings, seeking back-to-back tries against the red-hot league leaders. Jeremiah with an inviting kick, but Barber has it, and he's escaped the net. Barber still going. Barber almost through Marsh, and Marsh with a really important tackle there.
Well, that's a shame, isn't it? Barber again rescued them. He saved a try. He saved 4 points with Sam Wilde in one corner. On the other side of the field, he saved a goal line dropout anyway, if nothing more. He's got the ball back into the field of play, made some ground, and then a penalty been rewarded. But how uplifting this performance must be for the Widnes supporters who've travelled up here.
This is a really dangerous time for them, though, because I think if there's one team that transitioned better from defence to attack, I've not seen it in anybody else other than St Helens. Very, very quickly into formation, very quickly into that attacking mindset. Here's a bit of momentum. Roby up the middle, you know what's coming next. Barber sniffing around the bottom of that ruck bend. There's danger here.
It's a good run from Morgan Knowles to take Saints deep into that heart of the Widnes danger area now. There is Knowles again. And Barber, ghosts in. Collapse from Ben Barber. That's why he's the biggest ticket in town. Ben Barber's already proved what he can do in defence and just glides in the corner effortlessly to extend St Helens' lead. The favourite for the Man of Steel, now 16 Super League tries this season. Unstoppable, unplayable, magical Ben Barber.
Well, it all started at the other end of the field, didn't it? And it's a kick through from Jeremiah, great positioning from Barber. The half break was on, it required a great tackle from Stefan Marsh to pin them down, but the penalty was given away for offside, and this is the dangerous territory we were talking about. The ability for top teams to transition between defence and attack. Look at the position of Barber, just drifts around the back, and it's the way he plays with the ball, available for the pass at all times. What a danger, what a threat. Goes through. That's a 10-point scoreline as it stands. Richardson gets the chance to add the others. I've no idea what that is.
Well, is it supposed to be a Spider-Man suit? He's a bit more like Superman at the moment, is it, for them, the way he's played this year?
Is that a Barber mask? Was that a Barber mask? Wow, I'd rather watch the real thing, as this is some player we're seeing here in Super League this year. Everybody wondering which team he was going to join this time a year ago. All the cameras are in the stands. Well, they're very much focusing on him on the field today.
Richardson from the opposite touchline now. Wide of the mark, but 22-12 now. St Helens ahead.
The two examples of advanced skill here that helped him. He actually receives the pass in a fantastic position with time and space ahead of him. I mean, the ball from Morgan Knowles and Richardson both pass from the left foot, their inside foot. They managed to hold up the bodies. I really think that was advanced skill, the way they delivered the passes, and that's really what gave Barber the opportunity to score.
Collects the restart for good measure and finds McCarthy Scarsbrook. Repelled well initially by Alderson.
Time off, tackle 2. We've got a head injury.
It's Johnson who's taken a knock there. This referee's going to call time off. This may be a head assessment that's coming. It was in the attempted tackle on Lou McCarthy Scarsbrook. The initial contact was good, wasn't it? Knocked McCarthy Scarsbrook out of his stride. But there's a head on shoulder. It looks to have come out of that. Maybe as a delayed reaction. Yeah, it's it. It's gone down as required treatment after that. You can have a delayed reaction with those sometimes. You know, sometimes very, very obvious. You get your head in the wrong place and there's a stinger effect. Sometimes, you know, take a couple of seconds to realise what's happened. And the forces and the impact collision in this game is just has moved to a different level, hasn't it?
Well, he's like a middleweight competing against a heavyweight there, isn't it? There's a massive size and weight difference.
Sam, there's a lot of important technique to make.
Out of all the positions on the field for the Widnes Vikings, this is the one that they don't need any more disruption.
It's been down that long, you have to imagine he's probably going to leave the field here on a full further investigation and examination. They're taking the time with him out there. But this is where, again, now maybe teams are going to start to need 2 doctors, because the one doctor with him will be doing a head injury assessment. And obviously they'll need, it is an interesting time, you know, whether...
Well, his replacement, Danny Walker, has got some raps as well from the coaching staff at Widnes. You know, Terry O'Connor talks incredibly highly of this man as well. So it's his opportunity now. It's Johnston's misfortune, but it's Danny Walker's chance to shine on a really big stage. A great. Is it summer yet, or is it still spring? Spring afternoon.
Free. Move it. Hold. Goal free.
Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook.
4. Move. Hold. Goal 4.
Roby. That was Knowles, gets the pass away.
5.
Matty Lees.
Hold. Goal 5.
And Richardson. Marsh jumping, Marsh collecting, and then Marsh spilling the ball.
Lost it and lost it backwards, and worse, the Saints have fallen on it.
Hold, went back against the ball.
Peru's got the ball.
Goal 1.
Great opportunity for St Helens then, and Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook in again.
2. Move right.
7 metres or so away from the line. Roby, that was Richardson, and Lomax, Barber.
Great tackle.
3.
Outstanding tackle there, wasn't it?
Kindhorst it was. He knew exactly who the danger man was, but that's not always enough against Ben Barber. Did really well there.
And here's the ball goes backwards, and then eventually he loses it. Catches win matches in this game.
Short ball from Knowles again, spilled by McCarthy Scarsbrook.
Well, you've got to compliment Widnes' defence, and in fact the players are doing that to one another. They're going around backslapping, they've held out well.
Yeah, it's just perhaps not expecting the pass in the first place. It was a really significant piece of defensive play a couple of moments ago. Now, this is something that Barber's been exceptional at this year. He's moving on the pass. He can move sideways as well as he moves forwards. Some real homework has gone into that from that right edge. Kindhorst is the man who's come up with a tackle, really important tackle. How many times this season have we seen Barber skip out on the pass and ghosting again for a try or provide his winger for a score? That's a sign of some good homework, that.
His loan from the Rhinos extended this week, Jimmy Kindhorst.
Move. Goal 1 short.
Whitley. Patrick Arvan now.
2. Move Louis. Hold. Goal 2.
Marsh shrugged Walker out of the way.
3. Move. Pulls in. Hold.
Inside the last 7 minutes of this first half. If Widnes could strike again,
4.
Before the break.
Move. Hold.
Would really put things in the melting pot again. Walker.
5. Move.
Knowles with the
Hold.
tackle.
Hold.
This is the last
Go,
one.
5.
Wild,
Play up.
not the best, gives it to Percival, and Percival
1. Move. Go 1.
played it for Roby.
2. Move.
Not the best end to the set for the Widnes Vikings.
Go 2.
Taya now.
3. Move. Hold. Go 3.
Roby's pass for Knowles. McCarthy, Scarsbrook.
4. Move back.
Well, Richardson just
Hold.
waiting patiently to the right play to strike. This is the one. But no, Knowles holds the ball. Centre, last tackle.
Go 5.
Maybe now for Richardson. Here he is. It's away from the initial tackle. I think they came in from Alberson. There was another knock-on from Patrick Arvan. He's still saying 5. It's going to be the turnover.
Not backwards. Hand over, Ryan.
Well, they're just about doing enough, aren't they, to contain a St Helens attack that has looked at misfired on a couple of occasions. Danny Richardson looking to run on the last tackle. It's not a prerequisite that you kick, of course, but you've got to see something worth going for. Patrick Arvan, he got up.
1.
Referee judged no knock-on, so Widnes get to clear their lines again.
1, well done, come on. 2.
Walker for Cahill.
Hold. Go.
Really good run there from the 18-year-old.
Move. Automatic. Hold. Go 3.
Marsh. Now it's Mellor. Back on the inside is Wild.
Move. Hold. Go.
This is where that's the difference, isn't it? A team kicks the ball maybe 20 times in a match. He's still in the field, that's bounced out now. But the quality of the kicks maybe not quite as, he's happy, he's relieved, puts his hands up. He's found the sideline, but at first he thought it wasn't heading where he wanted it to go. It looked from one stage as though it would bounce, go out of play on the full.
In the end, a good result for Widnes.
Okay, boys. Greg, good response in that rope. Let's stay there. Good response. Okay, lads.
Wigan team watching on.
Lads,
They're up next. Wigan against Warrington. What a clash that's going to be. 5 o'clock, Sky Sports Arena.
On you, Johnny. Hey!
Sean Wayne and the Warriors enjoying the sunshine.
1. Move. Hold. Go 1. No, ball carrier.
Again.
2. Move. Hold.
Makinson
Go 2.
plays the ball for Roby.
Move. 3. Go. 4.
Very conservative from Saints, isn't it? They've just gone hard and straight down the middle. No intention to pass it, just gain some ground.
5. Move. Go.
Here is Richardson. Sun in the eye of Patrick Arvan again. He's caught it this time.
1. Move.
Probably a difference in the kicks, isn't it? Widnes haven't put it high.
News on Jordan Johnston. Terry O'Connor's on the sideline.
Hold. Go 2.
Ben just been in to see how he is, and he's just getting assessed by the doctor in the changing room. He is confident they'll be out in the second half. Plays well above his weight, and he was key in the first 30 minutes. But I just asked him how he is. He said, "I'll be all right, Marek. I'll be back on the pitch soon."
Stand. Go 4.
Great. Thanks very much, Terry. Great news for Widnes. That.
Well, I think the last thing that he wants when he's doing a head test is Terry O'Connor in his ear asking if he's all right.
Still 4.
He wants as few
4.
distractions as possible.
Great late offload there by Burke. Now it's to Whitley. He's back inside now. Alberson, they're keeping the ball alive.
Alberson for Cahill. Widnes chats in their arms. We close in on half-time here. 10 adrift. Mellor. The good ball. It could bounce off the post. It's in a really dangerous area. Richardson collects.
Penalty try, perhaps. Aaron Haramair is certainly ran off the ball at some stage there, and he's obstructed from getting to it.
I have no try. I just want to look at the contact that's made on Aaron Haramair here, please.
It would be a normal escort, and we see these penalties all the time, but never in goal with potential try situations.
Well, it would be if there is an escort, then that's a penalty, and the referee is the offside.
No, there's no
one
issue.
chaser in front there. Well, there's nobody waiting for the ball. We're okay to play on from there now, so we can carry on to this contact.
Well, there's your first
certainly
contact.
Interference. Pushes him away from the ball. And where does he go? Well, you'd have to say he's got a fair chance of getting towards that ball. Just taken off it as he waits to come down. Now, there is another player in close proximity, so I don't think you can say for certain that a try would have been scored. But I certainly think there's a penalty in that for Widnes.
So what are his options here now, Stuart?
Well, his options are a penalty try or a penalty. There's clear interference, but he has to be fairly certain that a try would have been scored. Now, the presence of Danny Richardson in there, I think, stops that certainty, certainly for me. If I was making this decision, I would say that that's a penalty to Widnes and a possible sin bin for the player for the obstruction.
Well, a penalty try might even up things for the Mark Percival try at the other end, where we saw the knock-on with Regan Grace, but I don't think he will give a penalty try. He's watched it several times now. Sooner or later, he's got to make a decision.
He has, and he's also given us no try on the field, so he needs extra certainty, if you like. But for me, if I'm making that decision, it's a penalty to Widnes 10 metres out in front of the post, and a possible sin bin for Peru.
Could be a crucial intervention in the outcome of this game. Here is the decision. No try.
No try.
The important stuff is now, though.
He's gone to his pocket. Yellow card for Dominic Peru. Widnes penalty coming up.
Well, there's the contact. The initial contact is in the field of play, and it's Peru on Jeremiah. That's what the yellow card is for. Why is it a yellow card, Stuart? Is that because the area of the field that we're looking at?
Well, it's almost a professional foul, isn't it? So he's stopped a try-scoring possibility, so that's why he's been sin bin.
Well, they've got 2 minutes here to make a real difference and strike and score again.
Cahill. First opportunity for the Widnes Vikings against the 12 men of St Helens. 2 minutes to go.
There's a poor pass running from Walker. It's all broken down.
Joe Mellor, nowhere to go there.
Stand. Go to.
Just Walker for Jeremiah. Better pass this time.
Move. Right. Hold. Play ball. Go.
Marvan, a couple of metres away. Olberson.
4. Move. Back, that's it. Go. 4.
Walker. Mellor. Jeremiah now.
5. Move. Line. Go. 5.
Here is the last chance for Widnes, and Mellor puts another kick in, looking for the post. James Roby invites Widnes to have 6 more.
Yep, safety first from Roby. They're down to 12 men, but he's got confidence in that defence as well. No chances taken whatsoever. Widnes are going to have about 48 seconds to have another crack before half-time, and they're going to have a real crack as well, because there's some value in the time with which Widnes would score here. They get over and they score 4 or 6 points. The shadow of half-time, that completely changes the complex of Dennis Bett's half-time conversation.
Come on, let's go.
And that of Justin Holbrook, for that matter.
Absolutely. Here is Richardson with the dropout. First of the match. Comes in the 39th minute. Taken back by Lulua. A strong carry from him.
Hold. Go on.
Cahill.
Help! Release! 2 go.
Mellor. Jeremiah.
3.
Olberson.
Move! Like men!
Have they got the key to unlock this St Helens defence late on in this first half? Just 15 seconds to go. Whitley smuggles the ball away for Arvan. That's how close they are.
4. Move! Wide! Go.
Last play of the ball, perhaps. Jeremiah run around with Mellor. There is the half-time hooter. It's the last chance. Mellor hangs on, gives it to Wild, and Wild for Kinehorst, and Kinehorst crashes in the corner. The very last play of the first half, and Jimmy Kinehorst has given Widnes a huge lift going into the second period. A smile from Dennis Betts, the man on loan from Headingley Carnegie. Jimmy Kinehorst his first Super League try of 2018, and what a crucial time to score it.
Well, for me, if you had to sum up what the Magic Weekend's all about, it's that try, it's that play. Obviously, they knew that the time was ticking down. They had to keep it alive. They had to take a risk. There's lots of ball movement. There's some drama, some great piece of skill at the end of it. And then half the crowd are very happy anyway. He's crashed over just in time here now to really lift the spirits of the side. They've played tremendously well in the first 40. They've had some bad luck at the bounce of the ball's gone against them. One or two decisions didn't go the way they fancied. But Jimmy Kinehorst had so much determination. There was no way he'd be stopped from there.
His first try in the black and whites at Widnes. Hat-trick for Leeds against Hull Kingston Rovers earlier this year. And a chance for Stefan Marsh if he extends this 100% record with the boot. It's a tough angle for him to close to within 4 at half-time against the red-hot league leaders. It's a great kick from Stefan Marsh. And the Widnes fans, it's the volume from them. 18 points to 22. That contribution from Jimmy Kinehorst. It was Whitley who got Widnes ahead 6 points to 0, and then 3 tries from St Helens. Richardson, Percival and Grace put them really in control. Wellington Albert with 1 for the Widnes Vikings. Barber for St Helens with a superb score, but that score from Kinehorst has put Widnes right back in at the break. Half-time, 22-18, St Helens. Half-time between Widnes and St Helens, and again St Helens highly fancied to win, expected to win, but that try from Jimmy Kinehorst right on the half-time hooter has made this one very, very interesting, as St Helens leader seek a 4-point lead at the top ahead of that Wigan-Warrington clash that follows this. 4-point cushion over Wigan, or can Widnes get their 4th win of the season and also their 4th win in 24 Super League meetings with St Helens? Glorious day on Tyneside as the Saints take the field for this second half, led by the skipper James Roby. Decibel levels among their fans. They expect, and Phil, what do you expect in this first half? Widnes right back in it at the break through that try from Jimmy Kinehorst. Can they continue that revival, or are Saints too good?
Well, I hope so. The St Helens walked out, and it seemed to me as though they felt as though they'd gone behind in the first half, really. But to concede 3 tries will be a shock for them. They'd have expected to be in more control, and I think they'd now realise this contest is going to be far closer than what most pundits and experts predicted beforehand. Just waiting for a ball here now. Eventually one's kicked out, and Danny Richardson will be asked to kick off.
Danny Richardson finally with ball in hand. And St Helens get this second half underway. Marsh underneath it.
1, move Morgan! Goal!
That was Lulawai with the first carry for the Widnes Vikings. Alberson now.
Great tackle there to start from Lees. I guess one of the things that St Helens will have spoken about is preventing Widnes from making the meters, the ground that they did in that first half, rolling forward.
Lulawai for Cahill.
Help! Release 4. Go.
Johnston.
5.
But he's back on the field, Ben, so obviously past the head test, Mellor goes to the air.
Matt, you're up.
You know, a second half start with some real intent from the Widnes Vikings.
Barber evades a couple of would-be tacklers.
1.
Jordan Johnston back on the field for this second half. That's important for the Vikings. What was said at half-time in those dressing rooms. Terry O'Connor's on the sideline.
Well, Ben, Dennis was really positive at half-time. He said that all we need to do, we need our back 3 to catch the ball on the full. We don't want to give him a leg up. Don't overplay it. Grind out the plays, because you know that Saints are going to have a crack at you. When we get over the line, we've got to make sure that we get the ball down. And for Saints, Justin Holbrook knows that they're in a contest. He does really rate this Widnes side. He says we've got to get into the game, go set for set with them. We know we can score points, but we've got to make sure we keep going and doing the little things, and we need better defensive mentality. A negative for Widnes is Reece Ambry won't take part in this second half. He's pulled his hamstring, so he will not be taking any further part in this game.
More problems for Dennis Betts then on the injury front. Thanks very much, Terry. Here is Stefan Marsh for the Vikings now, into the shoulder of Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Matty Lee's in there.
So the positional change there, as Whitley goes again, is Stefan March goes to fullback. You got Arvan, and Jimmy Kinehorst goes from the centre to the wing. But you're looking at the most dangerous man in a Widnes outfit. He's having a rare day. Is Joe Mellor. Some real momentum, some real questions asked of this St Helens defence from the Widnes halfback, and they need to make hay while the sun shines, don't they? Down to 12 men, of course. St Helens with the Simbading of Dominic Peyrou.
Yeah, Peyrou off the field as Mellor puts cross-field kick in. It's collected by Regan Grace, immediately under pressure. They need the ball with Peyrou off the field. Percival plays it for Roby, and Makinson now.
Free. Moves. Hold. Go free.
Regan Grace.
Great run by him there, isn't it?
4. Move it.
Quick game, quick play balls. Lots of runs from dummy half. Or single carries like this.
5.
Here is Taya now for St Helens.
Hold. Go 5.
Roby. Lomax's kick.
Mark, you're off, Mark.
In the fullback position is Stefan Marsh, with Reece Ambry off the field.
But listen, Mark.
Percival with the tackle on him. Steve Price watching on. Wigan Warrington to come next. And delighted to say that Scott Quinnell will be part of our commentary team for that one. 5 o'clock, Sky Sports Arena. Mellor. Noah Van. Fresh from the fan van, which has been made its way to Newcastle for this one.
Oh, Patrick Arvan's come up with a...
No, he kicks the ball forward. Should that be a penalty?
It's a really cost error. It's been made as a knock-on, but he's actually played the ball forward.
Yeah, it's an accidental knock forward. If you deliberately play the ball forward, it will be a penalty.
I think it's a really lax play to give away. To give away possession like that, I think there's many ways in which possession can be taken from you. You've got to make it as hard for the opposition as possible. And I think that's a lack of concentration there. And it's just offered up possession and territory to St Helens, a side who need no invitation. It's exactly the sort of stuff we were talking about, and that's come from the mouth of Terry O'Connor, having spoken to Dennis Betts. Exactly the sort of thing. They don't want to be giving them free shots, free possessions.
Will they be made to pay? Here is Makinson.
1. Move. Hold. Go 1.
And Knowles now.
2. Move. Go 2.
Urgency from Matty Lee's there. 4th substitute appearance this year. In the absence of Kyle Amor, of course, as Morgan Knowles inches closer for St Helens. And there's a penalty going Saints' way as well.
Says that the ball stripped and they stolen from him whilst in possession.
We'll take this out to 6, do you think? Take the 2 on offer.
What are you doing, Danny? Danny?
There's a conference.
Need a decision, mate.
And they will take the 2.
2.
Well, I wonder how many Widnes fans driving up here this weekend. Imagine that in the second half they'd have the Saints that nervous. Maybe a lot of the Widnes fans did. Maybe they had greater expectations than the rest of us here, that they would be this close and this competitive to the league leaders.
Well, I think certainly that they would know that they've got a team with ability, but it probably would have been more in hope than expectation, given what we've seen from St Helens, how good they've been, how ruthless they've been in attack this year. But I think, the decision that's just been taken to take 2 and to take this out to a 6-point ball game is, should be a real feather in the cap for Widnes going forward. There's an acknowledgement there that they're in a real contest. This is unlikely to get blown open as a game, and there's a doffing of the cap there, proverbially, from Justin Holbrook to Dennis Betts and his men.
Also the recognition, of course, that less time with Peyrou off the field. They want to use wear the clock down with him absent. 6-point lead then. Richardson extends the advantage. There is Peru on the sidelines. 24 points to 18 now. Justin Holbrook's men ahead. Best record on the road in the competition, St Helens. 6 victories with only 1 defeat. That came away at Wakefield. Looking for 2 more points on the road at St James's Park. Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. It's 3 for company. He charges the ball back in.
Hold. Goal 1.
Lees now.
2.
Good tackle by Sam Wilde. Good control. This guy, he's run very hard, but he's made little impact, hasn't he? They've been up and ready to cope with whatever he's got in his locker.
4.
Taya.
Move. Hold. Goal 4.
Roby.
5. Move.
Knowles.
Hold.
Under the tackle of Johnston.
Goal 5.
They've been persistent with this tactic, having the high kicks, and whenever possible, let's challenge the catcher. Couldn't get there to compete with Arvan.
More often than not, testing Patrick Arvan with those high kicks as well. Comes up with the answers on that occasion. Whitley. Nice run around.
Move. Hold Zed. Go. 3.
Runciman.
Move. Hold. Play ball. Goal 3.
Jeremiah's pass for Cahill.
With Stefan Marsh now at fullback, maybe a bit more time and freedom for him, not locked in on a wing. We might see what he's got to offer them. As McGrath offers a cheeky little lead offload. Sam Wilde tackled on the last tackle.
Peru on the field for St Helens, so 13 aside now as Mellor is pressurised as he puts a kick in. Barber less so, but eventually it comes up for Regan Grace. Did it go forward off Barber? Well, the youngster isn't going to hang around to find out.
Well, bad luck for Widnes, isn't it, on the chase? They've competed and contested a high one coming down, but it's fallen into the arms of the left winger, Regan Grace, who makes some ground and then changes direction. Joe Mellor catches him high. And just when you thought they could have maybe even picked up another 6 players with that high kick, they're going to have to stick it in reverse and go back into their own half.
Okay, mate. Joe, keep him down. Okay, Danny.
Joe Mellor got his first Super League hat-trick at the Magic Weekend back in 2013. It was against Salford in Manchester. Roby. Richardson. Now Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook.
1. Move. Hold. Goal 1.
Good tackle again there. Alberson quick to close down because they're trying to get the ball, I think, to Johnny Lomax. He might get it on this set here now. He's one of the main playmakers.
On from Lomax to Peru. He looked to promote the ball there.
He lost it.
Heavy pressure. He's lost that possession. That's good defence again from Widnes. They swarm the man in possession.
Great work.
With a mistake.
Great work defensively, Ben. As Peru's a difficult man, it's Burke on the inside that dislodges the ball. Peru actually in the act of attempting an offload. I think they've responded really well of Widnes. Mellor's given away the high shot and given away the territory, and then, as you said, Phil, Alberson right off the line, a great read on where the intended area of the field that ball was going to, and he's cut down his opposition, and then they've rallied and forced a mistake from St Helens, bought themselves some time.
Okay, lads, heads in, arms over, Ben. Out.
Jeremiah put the ball in and Johnston gets the ball away.
Move. Hold. Goal 1.
Almost lost it there.
2.
Well, I think Saints trying to up their effort here now in defence.
Goal 2.
They've been ruthless at times this season with some of the tackles, but not in this match. And again, good ground made by Jay Chapelhout. Back on the field now for Burke.
Johnston. As Cahill flings the ball back for Mellor. Fades the first tackle and touch on Roby now and Thompson.
4. Move. Go 4. Quicker, Luke.
Move it swiftly to the left-hand side, and Whitley with some space to work.
5.
Momentarily, then shut down by
5.
Peru.
Yellow Morgan.
Injured making that tackle, perhaps.
Jason's lads.
As play goes on with Jeremiah's kick.
That time, the Widnes side do get the ball back. They competed with Mark Percival. He knocked it forward, and Widnes here now, and the supporters excited at the chance of possibly, just possibly going level.
9 minutes short of the hour mark as Johnson scampers away. On now. Back for Johnston. Jeremiah. A good run from Patrick Arvan.
That's a good tackle, really important tackle.
Are they over though? Held up, says Liam Moore, who's in a good position there.
Well, two really good pieces of defensive play from St Helens. The first a tackle from Makinson, and then Barber and Peru getting really low to turn over his opposite number. Widnes still with ball in hand though. They've got a couple of tackles.
4. Moved on it.
Whitley so close. That was wild. Mellor. Shot from Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook.
Move. Hold. Go 5.
Johnson.
Watch them.
Well, incredibly frustrating end to the set for the Widnes Vikings. Once again, they earned the right to stay down that end of the field. But they just lacked that cutting edge, haven't they, when it's mattered, when it's counted.
0.
It's still a 6-point ball game, but those are the opportunities where if you're not going to score, you're not going to add points to your side of the scoreboard, you stay down there, you create some pressure. It's something that Widnes have been unable to do this game.
Go 1.
The accuracy of the kick just not good enough.
Moved on. Hold. Go 2.
Roby.
Surrender.
I'm sort of waiting for Saints to come alive. I've been disappointed. In my opinion, Widnes have been the better team in the 50 or so minutes we've had in this match. There's got to be some magic. You know that they can strike at any time. Misdirected pass, not sticking.
Lomax it was for Barber that time.
Move. Hold it, Sam. Hold. Go 4.
There's Lomax again.
5. Move on.
Fair to say St Helens really rarely clicked into the sort of gear that we know they're capable of so far.
Great catch again.
Brilliant from Arvan.
Trying to counter-attack here now.
Well, Whitley's been exceptional. He had a really smart line to help. He's actually jumped in front of the ball, which has given Arvan a clearer attempt at his catch, and then he's backed that up with a really strong carry to start the set.
Done well as a makeshift left centre, hasn't it? Had to fill in there.
He's one of the real. I think he's one of the real talents in Super League, the real rising stars.
Jay Chapel-Howell plays the ball. That was Johnston, and now Mellor.
5. Moves in.
Lomax and Taylor combine.
Go 5.
Last one for Widnes, and Johnston has to go high, but Richardson scampers over there, collects.
1.
Well, Richardson could sense the danger with that kick. It was heading to bounce in a difficult space. No player could claim it. And his reaction was the quickest. He knew he had to pounce on it. Look here, just they really aren't playing as their full potential. An offload, luckily it bounces to Percival.
Percival certainly making the most of that. He's got through a couple of tacklers already. Gets the ball away from Richardson. Maybe this is the moment for St Helens. Gives it to Makinson. Makinson's got support, and Ryan Morgan will go in the corner. We know what they're capable of, and St Helens deliver. 14 minutes into this second half. Delight from Justin Holbrook. Perhaps relief from Justin Holbrook, but Ryan Morgan with his 6th Super League try this season. On this right-hand side. Superb from Saints.
Finished by the right centre, started by the left centre. Ball comes back. Tackle count is 0, but look at the Percival, the weaving run, the footwork, his ability to ride a tackle is second to none in this league. Then Danny Mitchinson's sole job was to commit Stefan Marsh. Again from Makinson, the roles are reversed, winger to centre, but everybody does their job. Here's the offload. There was the touch from Widnes. This is amazing. The footwork, the spatial awareness, the offload, and then Danny Richardson commit the fullback. Makinson commit the centre. Morgan, you walk in.
5 games, 6 tries now for Ryan Morgan. Superlative form just now. Got his first try of 2018 in the Easter Monday defeat of Widnes as well.
I don't know whether Mark Percival ever played TIG when he was at school in playtime, but if he did, he must have been almost impossible to get. There's 6 Widnes players involved in trying to stop him or stop the ball from him there, and that his evasion, his acceleration, his balance, that was typified. It was like a slalom skier, wasn't he, going through the defenders there as the kick just goes to the left.
Still says 10 points the difference then. Try from Morgan, supplied by some brilliance from Mark Percival.
Feet are fantastic, aren't they? By the time half of the Widnes team almost taken up trying to deny him. Even so, there were enough Widnes players almost to stop Morgan.
Tammy Wellington.
To get the offload away at the end of it as well. It all looks like it's a little haphazard and not thought through, but there's quality there, isn't there? The quality with the footwork. The offload at the end of it was straight to Danny Richardson. There's no overstretching, no picking balls above his toes. The quality player.
High class, high speed.
Move! Square
The league leaders.
Hold. Goal 2. Surrender!
Theo Farge
Stand free.
on from the substitutes bench. Gives it to Knowles. Farge again. That's Lomax.
Back up, Eck. Hold.
Roby for Barber.
Good work from Kynors from second marker. They called that short side move and Johnston was backing off. It needed an intervention and he got one.
Richardson high again. Allowed to bounce. Whitley got there and it's come back into Saints possession. Hand over, says Liam Moore.
On the balance of probabilities, probably the right decision.
I thought it was contact from a Widnes player.
Well, the touch on the near side, he's the one that's called a knock-on. He must have seen a touch from the Widnes player. The St Helens player, sorry.
Goal 1. 2.
Somebody touched something.
Hold it, don't hold.
And Widnes, again, who are now 10 points in arrears, but they're still going at this. This game is very much alive. Still a quarter of the game to go. They're going to have to do it without Reece Hambry, but this boy's having a great game. Jordan Johnson from the base of the ruck.
Following that injury scare in the first half as well. Been a real standout for the Vikings.
Just haven't been able to make the kicks as dangerous as the Saints ones.
Mellor on the last. What's this kick like? He kicks for himself this time, and again, not the outcome he would have wanted, not the outcome that Dennis Betts would have wanted. Exactly the point you make, Phil.
Oh, here's a chance. Hang on. Percival's come up with the drop.
Widnes have a set of 6 inside the Saints 10-metre area here. Patience, perhaps, the watchword as Johnston. Trapped by Teya. Mellor.
This is where they've got to be absolutely clear about what they're wanting to do. The areas of the field they're wanting to visit, the numbers they're wanting to make St Helens make.
Still going.
Lost the ball. Heremias lost it short of the line. Well, was it Dennis Betts said at half-time, we've got to get to the line, we've got to get the ball down and over it when we get there. That's twice now. They've been held up once in this part of the field and are held just short of it a second time. Great tackle by Theo Farge.
That's on the cross.
Only been on the field a matter of minutes. The St Helens substitute Theo Farge, already a crucial contribution to deny Dennis Betts.
And this is a measure of the Widnes Vikings today, because that first contribution he's made is a tackle that's put himself between Aaron Eremaya and the ball on the try line. You don't normally talk about Theo Farge in those terms. These are the being asked to perform under those circumstances, unusual for St Helens, and a measure of just how good and how competitive Widnes are.
Farge in attack.
Nice passes. They've done that several times, haven't they? Lots of forwards, passing to forwards, moving at pace.
Thompson couldn't get the ball away on that occasion, but they're still sweeping forward on this right-hand side, and Ryan Morgan, the latest try scorer, in possession. For Makinson on the last. Richardson high again.
Well, that's a penalty for attacking the end. Zepte is clearly upset with himself. He's got the timing wrong on that one. It's not the worst one we've seen this month, but it's clearly Runciman, both feet off the floor. And the rule is there to protect those players when they're in a vulnerable position. If it's a genuine challenge for the ball, I have a little more sympathy for Zepte, but he didn't put himself in a position where he could challenge for that football, and I think the referee's got the decision absolutely right.
Kinehorst then for the Widnes Vikings.
Hold. Go on.
Inside the last quarter of this game. 10 points adrift, the Vikings, the black and whites in Newcastle.
Well, they don't need to score this set, do they? They maybe don't need to score for the next 5 minutes, but they need to be the next to score.
That's not going to help them.
It's not, no.
Okay, if you'll knock on, big goal.
Eremaya loses the ball again, this time not on the try line, but still damaging as far as the Widnes Vikings are concerned.
Well, he was put under tremendous pressure from Luke Douglas. Worked hard to harass him. The ball's lost in the tackle.
Let's keep this ruck speed, okay? We'll keep responding to the call.
Still in this contest, though, the Vikings. 10 points adrift. The opponents aren't playing well. Don't have that zip that we've seen this season. Can obviously strike from anywhere, but got a chance here. They've got their opponents nervous after an hour.
Eremaya grabbed his first try in Widnes colours against St Helens 3 years ago. Farge for Makinson. Whitley holds on. Morgan now. And Farge for Thompson.
Well, there's another injury now for Widnes. They've got a player down, Wellington Albert, I think.
Luke Thompson's got the ball.
John Wilkins just, he's flipped between two emotions there. One, frustration that his side's momentum has been disrupted, and then the bigger picture that there's an opposition player down who needs some assessment for a potential head injury. So that the two sides captured there in one piece of footage. So it's Wellington Albert, and it's a head clash between him and Danny Walker. Now, I'll tell you something. We're nearly at the last quarter of the first of 3 Super League Magic games, and the atmosphere is absolutely fantastic. We're standing here on the gantry, and there's just more people than I've seen in any Magic weekend in one place before. More enthusiasm, and I think it's a response. The players are responding on the field, and that is a response that we've seen in the crowd to what we are seeing on the field, the quality that we've seen so far.
St James's Park is bouncing. St Helens leading the charge. Farge, Richardson, Lomax now, and Barber. Now Ryan Morgan, is it a double for Ryan Morgan? The same corner, is it going to be the same outcome? Not just yet.
Mate, tackle 4. Have a try.
But it is a try on the field.
It looked to me like a try from here live. We'll get to see again.
Yeah, it's just the grounding he wants to look at. Looks like he might come up a little bit short. Well, he's put it down on his in his hand, but I think he still maintains possession and goes over the line. Well, he's lost it at the point where it might hit the ground.
This is a more difficult decision, I think, than at first first thought.
Yeah, just needs to make sure that he's still in possession when the ball touches the ground. Certainly.
I think the ball's been dislodged there.
But is that intentional use of the feet by Stefan Marsh?
Well, he doesn't kick at the ball. He puts his foot on the ground. There is a subtle difference. So I don't think there's any dangerous play there. He just puts the ball on his foot.
So given this has gone up as a try, what we're looking for now, sufficient evidence?
Well, he needs to make sure that he's lost possession of the ball, that he's certain in his mind. And it's difficult to see on that angle, but it looks like he's lost the ball before it hits the ground. So it's always up off the ground when he's in possession, but at the point where it goes down, I think he's lost it.
Does that, in your eyes, is that sufficient evidence to overturn a try decision on the field?
I think so in that one. Certainly the other angle we saw, it was more evident in that than that the ball was lost before it hits the ground. Here you'll see.
So it's the right leg from Stefan Marsh.
Yeah, and it's on the ground. That's significant. And he's lost possession there, and the ball's come out. I think this is no try. I think there's enough evidence there to overturn this.
Well, if that's the case, then the Widnes Vikings have given themselves a lifeline with some desperate last-ditch defence. Here's the decision, Ben.
Went up as a try.
And he's been given as a try. That's a massive call by the video referee. We thought that one might bounce in the favour. A decision might go the way of the Vikings here to keep them alive in this contest, but it hasn't.
We've got a very, very quick shot of Dennis Betts there, and he cuts a very frustrated figure, because I think there's enough to suggest, even though that got sent up as a try, that there's a loss of control in the attempted grounding of that ball. As it stands, St Helens now go a considerable distance clear. The momentum is with them, and if there's one positive that St Helens can take out of this, is that the way that they executed that play left all the Widnes Vikings players on their heels. It was low tackles, passive tackling, which cleared the way for Morgan to the line.
Richardson wide from the sideline. 2 tries for Ryan Morgan. Is that a bridge too far, perhaps, for the Widnes Vikings?
Well, we've had controversy with and without the video referee this weekend. In the match before this, there was no video referee. A try was awarded and everybody said, why not? Here we've had a video referee, and all of us on this gantry think that wasn't a try and it should have been disallowed. And yet, the only man who matters, the video referee, disagreed with us.
So it's a 14-point ball game, Ben. There are 16 minutes left in this competition, which is more than enough time to overcome that deficit and overturn that deficit. Whether they will do or not is another matter, because I'm seeing now the signs of what Saints have done to so many players and so many opposition teams in 2018. They look like they're about to kick into another gear, and you've got a Widnes side that are just keeping control of a defensive set, and it could unravel now.
Ben Barber manages to get the ball over the top to Zeb Taylor. He does hold on under pressure from Runciman. Farge for Wilkin. Now Richardson. Morgan.
That's good contact. Tom Alberson in defence.
Urgency though from Theo Farge. Sets up something on the right-hand side, and Makinson with some space flings the ball out brilliantly.
Great scrambling defence though by Widnes. Excellent stuff. They found themselves having to throw everything to close that one down. Makinson down the outside. Marsh gets his body in front, and then another telling contribution from Whitley from behind. Look at the body on the line stuff there from Stefan Marsh. Warm up for his team, and then some great cover scramble from the inside. And that's a good riposte as well from Wellington Albert. Great meters post contact.
23-year-old leads the counter for Widnes Vikings. Inside the last quarter of this game. Mellor.
Well, this is a dilemma now. To win it, they're going to have to take some risks and move the ball around. They get a penalty which might help them to get into the opponent's half and a better chance of winning. The referee stopped the clock. Why would he stop the clock here?
Well, I think he's just wanted some confirmation that he's seen the penalty correctly and that there's no further action required.
Well, it gives the chance for the Vikings to catch the breath, kick to touch, and possibly get the supporters a little more excited if they could get off the line one more time.
But you'd think they need to come back from this visit with some points. 14 points adrift, 14 minutes left. They need to exert some kind of pressure now on this St Helens defence. They're choosing where they're going carefully. They'll be shoving a shot to the right. It's in the hands of Mella. An early kick, but it's far too strong.
It's a great idea, wasn't it, to just kick too strong, because he saw where Barber was. He had the vision, but not the skill to match it.
And the ball boy to control restart. Yeah. Time off. The ball's been passed back in play. It's a control restart for the 0 tackle.
14 minutes within this game, and remember, you can control who is the man of the match via the R-League app.
Hold.
There'll be a rugby league legend watching this game, and there'll be 4 choices,
Surrender.
and all you have to do is just select your nominee.
Go,
Luke Douglas now for this Helens side. 3 in the tackle for Widnes. Theo Farge.
Yeah,
Wilkins pass put down by Richardson.
Not sticking today, are they? That was the big play. You saw half the team moving. They do that better than most teams. I know the pass hasn't worked here, but they get more of their players moving around the ball than other teams in this league, and I think that they've been dangerous. Then they've got the passes and the skill to stick with it. Not here.
Is that not the most worrying thing, though, for the rest of Super League? That this is a St Helens side that's put in probably a 6 or 7 out of 10 performance, facing a Widnes side that have played, I think, particularly well, and are still 32 points on the scoreboard and 14 points to the good. That should be a real worry for everybody else who's got to compete against this St Helens side this year.
Matt Whitley's let no one down in black and white.
Guy's been excellent. Good offload as well there.
Walker picks up, gives it to Herremeyer, now Chapelhout. Trying to get the arm free to offload himself. Widnes do have to chance their arm. Walker now.
Free. Move. Hold here, John. Hold. Go,
Mella.
That's great defence on the inside from Luke Thompson.
Hold.
Herremeyer for Johnston. Cahill.
They're just losing the way a little bit, Ben, aren't they?
5.
This is where you need the dominant half. The dominant half gets tied up, and plan B's not so clear.
Mella, again, not the best kick, and straight into the arms of Johnny Lomax. Immediately launches the counter.
Well, the Saints are a hard team to score against. We'll need to look at the defensive record. I mean, the Vikings have done well to get 3 tries so far. There's a knock on here, as we're just watching that replay. Johnny Lomax has lost possession. And look at this spirit for this Widnes side here.
Time off.
They've worked very hard here physically against a team with more pace and maybe more power. Yeah, they're the ones here now desperate to reform this scrum, stop the clock, give themselves a tiny hope.
Come on, boys. 10 metres
Kinehorst in the tackle, wrestles him to the ground.
That's a genuine mistake as well. Genuine error forced. Error forced by Kinehorst. As the point of the elbow hits the floor, the ball comes free. Now then, Widnes, what have you got for us?
Mella. Marsh just evades the tackle of Makinson, who flew out to the line. Now Chapelhout. Chapelhout still going.
Help! Release line, go to.
Walker. Mella. Johnston.
No, obstruction. I don't need to check
Obstruction
anything.
is the call.
I don't need to check anything, mate. It's obstruction.
Well, they made the call very quickly, didn't the referee? Immediate with a whistle. You think, is it Sam Wilde who comes running in here and hits Lomax? He's blocking him. He's clear. The path to him's clearly blocked. It's obstruction. Straightforward.
And the most frustrating thing is it didn't need to be again. We saw another one of these earlier on today in the Toronto-Toulouse game. And this is what we talk about intelligence for players. Just a half yard to sit on the inside shoulder of Lomax, and that becomes as difficult to defend, but no option for the referee to pull back.
3.
Great decision from Liam Moore as well.
Hold. Go free.
Richardson. Now Peru.
Great
Gets the
ball.
ball around the corner brilliantly for Richardson. It's put down by Wilkin.
Knock on. Knock on.
What a shame there that wonderful piece of skill from Dominic Peru falling to the ground, gets the right arm out, throws it around the opponent. Richardson takes it, but then the next one to Wilkin. According to the referee, is a knock-on. I'm not sure where, but
There is
he
no
accepted
knock-on.
the decision. He accepted the referee's call.
I think it's the
Okay,
one
boys,
from
let's go
Richardson
then.
that is called. Does he lose it forward here?
Mark, with a touch, judges. Heads in, lads.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's easy to accept a decision like that when you're 14 points in the lead, isn't it? Tommy Makinson, incidentally, receiving some running repairs.
Right, let's go, lads.
He's staying on the field, but the attempted tackle on Stefan Marsh, the attempted kill tackle, which really needed to be made, he came off second best. He's okay to continue, but there's an issue there with the forearm or elbow.
You've got to wait for the out call.
Don't forget, you can choose
Good boys.
who gets the man of the match, the outstanding contribution to this game here in Newcastle. And there are 4 candidates, all in the red V of St Helens. Danny Richardson, Morgan Knowles, Luke Thompson and Ben Barber. Vote now via the R-League app.
Do you want our opinion, Ben?
1.
Do you want our opinion?
Absolutely, John.
Okay, so
Go, 1.
can't give it to Ben Barber because I'm sick of hearing about him and sick of talking about him. Danny Richardson, I think, has had an outstanding game,
Hold.
but I've really liked the contribution from Morgan Knowles. His star is rising with every game, and I think in a team littered with stars, littered with superstars, you sometimes forget the graft and the hard work that needs doing. He would be my pick.
Makinson off the field.
Good job. Hold.
And that all as a result from that crash tackle on Stefan Marsh. Another good read in defence, this time from Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook.
Go, 5.
Johnston,
Danny,
Jeremiah
Danny.
to the air. Barber spills it,
You're inside the 10.
but they were inside the 10,
Walker.
according to Liam Moore.
So a fuller explanation of that the referee said would have been offside at the point of the kick and then have judged to have been within the 10. So 23 is Danny Walker, offside at the point of the kick, and then he's within 10 metres of the catching zone. And that's the reason for the penalty.
Move around. Hold.
I'll give you my opinion on that man of the match, John. I was surprised there's not one of the black shirts. It must be a St Helens legend who's picked those 4 nominees. Because, I mean, they've lost a full-back, they've recovered, they've had some bad calls go against them.
Little Max. Barber, Percival flicks the ball out too high for Grace.
Well, Matt Whitley would have been arguably the contributor from the Widnes point of view. I think we've mentioned his name in a positive light more often than not. But this is going to be St Helens' day, we feel, despite them not hitting anywhere near the heights that we've seen and come to expect from this outfit in 2018.
Do you think after the high of winning in the Cup, and I say a high, they've obviously put a tremendous amount of effort and focus into winning in the Challenge Cup last
boys,
week,
7 minutes.
it was hard for them to get back up to that level and maybe find an excuse here, because I think he'd even be disappointed, wouldn't it? Probably more disappointed than I am that they haven't fired, they haven't really entertained us.
Or have they peaked and it's all downhill from now on in?
They're drained after victory of the Tigers.
Out. Back on. Surrender.
Kindhorse to the Vikings.
Stand. 1. Go. 2.
Tarvan.
Move. Hold. Go. 2. Zeb, you're off.
Jeremiah for Johnston.
Good ground.
3. Move,
Going to
Luke.
get more players pushing up here. As many as they can moving around the ball gives them the best chances. Walker scoots through.
4. Move.
Good pace from
Hold,
Walker there.
hold. Go.
Mellor. It's Lulu White.
5. Move. Hold here, John. Hold. Go. 5.
Mellor on the last.
T, you're off, T.
Grace underneath it. Under pressure initially from Runciman.
Stand.
Trapped by
1.
Kindhorse.
Hold.
Good
Go.
takedown.
1. Sam, come on. Play on. Help!
Percival
Release.
trapped by Walker.
Go to.
Here is Barber. Now Morgan.
3. Move! Hold on. Go.
Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook through Alberson initially.
4.
Will Johnson
Move
downstairs.
12 months ago, St Helens scored some scintillating tries when they won 45-0 here. I think they want one special one here now to finish off this performance. There's a barnstorming carry there from Luke Thompson. Another high kick to the corner from Richardson.
Johnny! Plough!
Ryan Morgan's first wasn't too bad.
1. Moved on! Hold it, Luke. Hold!
Well, he's literally run over the top of his opponent. He's making a habit, and a good habit of doing that, isn't it?
Moved on! Hold! Go.
Harvan. It's Walker.
3. Move, Luke! Hold! Hold! Go, 3. 4. Move!
News on
Back, John.
Makinson from Terry on the sideline. He's got...
Go, 4.
Yeah,
5. Move!
Well, here they are at the end of the set.
Hold! Go, 5.
just hearing from Terry on the sideline that
You're off,
it's a
3.
dead arm from Makinson. He won't be coming back as Barber takes the ball in.
20. So is 0.
20-metre restart. There is
Stand
Makinson.
off. Luke
Well,
Thompson's in front of the 20.
on Makinson, it's unlikely that if he was playing in a grand final or a game that was,
On you, Theo.
you know, in the balance, he'd be taken off. It's a precaution more than anything. And that was the tackle on Stephen Marsh in which he
0.
received the injury, almost self-inflicted. The speed with which he comes in, he reads those really well. One of the rare occasions when he doesn't stick.
1. Move! Go, 1.
Theo Farge
Surrender!
made a real contribution when he's come on from the bench.
Hold. Stand
There's
up.
the
Go, 2. Surrender.
latest in the fight to be man of the match. Danny Richardson leading the vote, 60% for him. Here is Lomax. Matty Lees now.
4. Move, Danny! Hold, Greg. Go.
Inside the last 4 minutes. Is there that special play for St Helens that they
5.
so desire? 45-0, of course, last year
Go,
against
5.
Hull FC. They've not hit those heights in 2018, but 2 more points, vital points coming the way of Justin Holbrook and the St Helens side.
Really good take by Patrick Harvan. He's had a relatively quiet day, still on the return from injury, still not up to full speed, still up, certainly
0.
aerobically up to
Move!
where he needs to be, but he's done his bit for the team today. Great take above the head from Patrick Harvan.
And he's been tested under that high bomb time after time as well, John, today.
Hasn't he? And all from the boot of Richardson. And just to back reference the man of the match polls, it's clearly leading now to Danny Richardson taking the man of the match at home. But I think people sometimes need to look beyond the obvious. There's some more subtle contributions going on here. Morgan Knowles, I tell you, he's not a star for the future, he's a star for now. A massive contribution.
Here's my try.
Regan Grace talking about stars for now. Regan Grace is going to go 50 metres to crown this win for St Helens. It will be his second try. Will the referee award it straight away? It's just checking with the touch judge, Liam Moore. And we are going to go to the video referee.
Mate, this will be the 0 tackle. Have a try. Let's check for a possible knock on there, please.
Speed to burn from Regan Grace.
So I think we're looking for a possible knock-on.
It's a knock-on when in the changeover possession, if there is one. One there from Widnes, and then he just picks the ball up clean. There's nothing wrong with this. This will be confirmed.
Brilliant bounce. Third time the ball comes up, doesn't it? And then he runs like an athlete. He's got a different running style to almost everybody on the field here. Long. It's almost easy with him, isn't it? The ball there, it's irrelevant, isn't it, what happens there with Widnes. Regan Grace kicks the ball through. I don't quite understand what they will be looking for.
Well, they've cleared that part of the play now, and it's literally just the grounding they'll be looking at. There's no problem there at all. This will be the game to St Helens, and the 2 competition points. They've been hard-earned today. This has not been a straightforward day at the office. but it is going to be St Helens' day.
2 here against Hull 12 months ago, and a double in Newcastle in 2018 as well for Regan Grace. 9 now in Super League.
Well, you can see here, they have to try it on there. They're keeping the ball alive in the dying minutes. They're attempting to attack their opponents. But the counter-attacking ability here and the pace that Regan Grace has worries any team, because on a clear run, there are very few who can catch or stop him. And this scoreboard here now tells a lie, really, about this match.
Richardson. 2 more points for him. 2 minutes to go. 38 points to 18 now. All smiles on the St Helens bench.
Well, they've overcome a stern test, haven't they, Ben? And the Widnes Vikings, they get to take nothing out of today, other than perhaps a bit of a momentum, albeit on the losing side.
Danny Richardson is the man of the match.
Behind him, boys. McGrath.
It's no surprise, is it, Ben? He's been
Got 10.
a cut above most. Great take by Lou McCarthy Scarsbrook, by the way, and then handed off to another St Helens player, a knock on, and Widnes are going to get a very late chance to maybe let this scoreboard take on a less lopsided look. The game has been a lot closer than the scoreboard suggests, but I think Danny Richardson has been a key factor in this result. I'm always less inclined to give the obvious choice to the man of the match. Sometimes we try and think too hard, sometimes the answer is staring you in the face, but I think there's been some real contributors there, some contributors who you wouldn't normally expect to be putting themselves up there for man of the match performances.
Back on.
And the Widnes, former Widnes amateur, Halton Hall Widnes amateur Danny Richardson is man of the match on his Magic debut. Someday for him.
Now, can the Vikings finish on a positive note? The game's gone. There are positives to take out of that. One, well, I think the attitude in which the way they've played, and they've adapted to players leaving the field through injury, but also into next week, what they're going to do and trying to extricate themselves from the bottom end of that league table.
Johnston, stumble initially from Walker. Here is Jeremiah. Can Widnes end with a flourish? They're so close there with Chapel out.
Held up, tackle 5.
Held up.
Tackle 5 on the 10.
So they get one last shot then, and it'll be from the 10-metre line, held up over the line.
5.
Last chance for the Vikings. Mellor. That was wild.
Hand over.
Is there going to be time for St Helens to take possession here as the clock ticks down? It's another win for St Helens. Business as usual for Justin Holbrook. St Helens have won this one by 38 points to 18.
Well, there you have it. St Helens' 13th win of the season, their 4th consecutive victory in the Betfred Super League, but they were pushed all the way, despite what the scoreboard will tell you, by a Widnes side sitting low in the table, but who you would imagine be higher in confidence following that gritty performance. 38-18 in the end, just 4 points in at half-time. As St Helens, with 3 second-half tries, a very late one from Regan Grace, have blown out the scoreline and perhaps made that victory look more impressive than it was.